Hello everybody and welcome to a spotlight on Polybridge. And you might be thinking, this game is not particularly new. Usually you do a little bit newer games on this series, and I'd say that is correct. But Polybridge 2 is releasing soon, and as such, at the time of recording this, Polybridge 1 has been discounted by quite a lot, and as such, it's worth picking up. So let's go into this a little bit more. I'm not that far into the game. As far as I know, the game gets ridiculously more complex as you go on, but for the time being I think it's a good idea to show you the more basic concept of the game rather than me showing off how bad I actually am at the game. So what you do is you've got, in this case, two cars at the start and you need to get them to the end. They both have a separate weight capacity and you need to build a bridge to get them from this point to this point. So the way you do that is by building a bridge. Every single thing you place here has a certain cost to it. And you've got a budget for every single bridge. So far I have not really run into any issues as far as like the budgets being too low. And honestly, in a certain way, connecting these points together, doing these bridges, it feels a lot like actually designing something in something like Adobe Illustrator or like a 3D program such as 3D Max or Blender. It really does feel somewhat similar to it. Obviously, this is a lot less complex than some of those quote-unquote real-world workloads, but I think it really depends on the same basic skill sets, right? You need to be able to visualize a certain space and know what certain things do. So in the tutorial they tell you that this is a good way to make a structurally sound bridge, and spoilers, it is. The funny thing is, and I don't know how this compares to real world bridge building because, spoilers, I don't know anything about real world bridge building. But you can also build with the same exact structure on the bottom. And I would assume that, yeah, that probably to a certain extent does work in the real world as well. Why am I doing this on the bottom, by the way, and not on the top? Because there's a point down here which I can use for structural support. So let's see how we do that. This does not seem very structurally sound at the moment for me, but who knows, we might be able to make it happen. We're not able to make this happen. So let's... I don't know how much I'm wasting here as far as like money goes. Oh, I can't place it over that rock. That makes a lot of sense actually. Let's see, you can hold down shift to move points. Obviously there is a max range on how far a single bar of any material can go. I don't know if this will hold. I'm assuming this might not hold. We'll see. So once you've constructed your bridge, you start simulation and the cars start driving over the bridges. This time around, both of the cars will be going at roughly the same time. So that is a little bit on the scary side, but we made it. And here you see the stats for how your simulation went. As far as I'm concerned, as long as everybody makes it to the end, I don't care about how close they got to disaster. I would be a terrible bridge designer. This is a bit more of an interesting situation here. Because obviously we've got B here, which needs to go to flag number B. We've also got A, and if we just make a bridge all the way across, which we're going to do, split joints, we'll get to that in a moment. The boat is going to destroy the bridge, as we'll see. So let's make this real quickly, and I might cut some of this out. And you might be able to notice that there is a grid on the background, which you can use to properly line up all of your bridge parts, which I am definitely not doing right now, and I definitely should be paying a little bit more attention to. But yeah, that really does help, because knowing what kind of angle, and of course also it shows you the distance and the angle in the tooltip of where you're about to place something, so just knowing that angle also really helps quite a lot. And I think the max for any given thing is not actually... The max is dependent on the length of the bar, which is a little bit weird because I'm not sure that's how like anything works in the real world. Maybe it is. Again, I'm no bridge builder, so I couldn't tell you. So far though, this seems to not be a level where I can use the hydraulic connector, which is this one, which usually is needed for bridges like these. So I'm very curious as to... let's use... that doesn't work. Okay, never mind. It's good enough. I'm curious as what's going to happen here, because... Well... Well... This is a very good moment to show the tracing tool, because you want to make a bridge that goes like this way, but then you got two handles and you want to make it round. Again, this feels very familiar to me, particularly because this is also how you would like tune the keyframes and the animations in something like Adobe After Effects. These handles, it's very clear that the people who made this, can you make that? Yeah, you can. The people who made this also like work with something like that, and obviously they made a shit ton of like 3D models and stuff, and that kind of software works similarly, I would say. Even though I don't know very much about it, I've actually been learning a little bit more about 3D modeling and stuff. Partly because it's interesting, and partly because I feel like if I'm going to shit on other people's products that have something to do with that, I probably should know at least some of the basics myself. So let me finish this bridge and we'll move on to the next level. And I don't know how I'm actually going to manage to do that, because so far this does not seem to be doing very well. I know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so you can box select with right click and then delete with delete. What I'm supposed to do is obviously not do that in the downward direction, because that's going to break with the bow. Huh. This seems really fucking janky, but I think it might just... not work. And this does a really good job at showing the issues you oftentimes have designing something like this, where this is a total fucking mess, and that is because I made a mistake somewhere early on, and I don't know where that mistake was. Also, this is very unnecessary, so let's delete that. Somewhere early on I made a mistake, which probably a fairly major mistake as well. And now I'm trying to just like patch up that mistake by just building on top of it and building on top of it. But that foundation is flawed, which means that I might be able to make it work by forcing a lot of patchwork, but it definitely isn't the way to go about doing things. So in that respect, I do think that this game shows something close to reality. Again, not particularly with bridge design, but like in general design, yeah, this kind of bullshit happens a lot, and this is not the way you go about fixing it usually, because now that I've done that, it's probably still gonna break. And I still don't know where my mistake is. That's also because I'm a filmmaker, not a like physics professor. I might have somehow kind of done it. I mean, the car still needs to go over it, but I think that'll be... yeah, okay. So again, it's a really janky solution, and it required a lot. And I mean a lot of rework and patchwork. And it's probably still not the solution that is most efficient and does the best job, but it's under budget. And we got the car to the other side. So again, that's all I really care about. This time, we're going to do a jump, which is... we are limited to just 5 road pieces, otherwise you could just make a road over there. So let's make the road as high as we can go. And then make a little bit of a ramp just so that I can jump. Maybe it was a good idea to make a little bit of a ramp here as well. We'll see. And then make a little bit of a support here with some wood pieces. We can't quite make that yet, but we should be able to make it now. And from here out, we can build at least a little bit of structural support, I think. Not a lot, admittedly, but at least a little bit. And that I should be able to connect up to there. That should be able to be connected up to there now. And that'll be a bit more of an issue, I'm thinking, but actually not that much. We should be able to maybe... Again, I'm no bridge designer. I'm not great at physics. So I don't know how this is going to work for me. I'm guessing not very well, or like not at all. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, that immediately collapses, doesn't it? That doesn't do much better of a job. My issue lies down here, I think. I think this is my main issue. I know at this point I'm over budget, but I'm just experimenting a little bit to see if this works a little bit better. It does not. This might do a bit of a... Oh, one very important connection was almost forgotten there. Which I just about can't make, actually. So that is going to be a bit of an issue. Can I get you one lower? I can. Maybe this will work? I don't know. This seems like it will work. Very well, as a matter of fact. So, again, sometimes you just need to take a step back and start all the way from the beginning to make sure that what you're building actually works. So then we have an overpass, which is something else entirely. I wanted to end the video here, but I guess I'm explaining more of this. We've also got two more materials here, which I probably won't be able to get into in this video. But let's see. So first things first, obviously, we need to make sure that the boat doesn't hit the bridge itself. Then we build out the bridge, roughly, like this, so that we can go over it. But if we just use this, we drown, right? So we've got 6 pieces of steel and we've got a shitload of rope. So what we're probably going to want to do is build up, not straight up, I don't think. We're probably going to want to build up 1, 2, and 3 like that, and then 1, 2. We can't quite make that, can we? I don't know what these are for, because I would assume that those are the places you want to connect this steel with, but maybe that's where you want to connect a rope, actually. That's definitely where you want to connect a rope. So we want to go steel, and then we want to build a bridge so that our third one connects in the middle, and that should be good. Then connect rope like that, maybe? I don't think this will be it, will it? And this should be a suspension bridge like that. I don't know if we particularly need wood. Here we might not. I don't know. Give me a moment to try here, because I think I know there's a "don't show me that again" button there, by the way. I just know that if I need it shown to me and it's not going to show up, I'm going to blame the game for it. So I'm not going to check that box until I really get the game fully. This is probably going to break, and I'm also over budget, but I don't really care. Yeah, that didn't go well, did it? It kind of works. It's way over budget, and this car can't get over it. But other than that, it's not collapsing. So that is something. Also, there is a stress visibility toggle here, which can show you where you need to improve the bridge if you don't know where you're going. And then point of view, you've got a couple of different points of view. I like this one the best from like a depth perspective, but this one might actually be better if you're trying to troubleshoot. Yeah, so that is a bit of an issue. I'm not gonna lie. You are at way too steep of a curve. So can I just... No, that's gonna make a problem, isn't it? A problem that I am not going to fix, because this is going to be the end of this video. I like this game, it's very complicated, and it's not my strong suit at all, but I do think it's worth checking out, so there's a link down below in the description for anybody who wants to check out Polybridge. Polybridge 2 is being released somewhat soon, so do look forward to that, and until the next time, I've been Vlogger, you have been awesome as always, bye.